Welcome back to Velshine Rule. Tax filing deadline is just days away. But President Trump today, again, punting on his releasing his own tax returns as Democrats are putting the pressure on the IRS to cough him up.
While I'm under audit, I won't do it. If I'm not under audit, I would do it. I had no problem with it. But while I'm under audit, I would not give my taxes. There's no law whatsoever. Remember, I got elected last time, the same exact issue, with the same intensity, which wasn't very much, because frankly, the people don't care. I built a great company, one of the best companies. I have some of the greatest assets in the world. I did a good job. And now, frankly, I don't care about them. I only care about the United States.
Okay, can we put this one to rest? Can we please put it to rest? Let's bring in Richard Rubin, tax policy reporter for the Wall Street Journal. Richard,
I'm laughing because no matter what Richard says, do you actually think we're going to put this to rest?
Richard, let's keep this straight and simple. We have been clear before, but can you please fact check the president once and for all? This is the last time on this excuse that an audit prevents him from releasing his taxes.
So an audit does not prevent him from releasing his tax returns, or it doesn't also prevent the Treasury Department and IRS from turning over his tax returns to the Democrats in Congress as they've requested. An audit is a reason why he might not want them out there. If you're in the middle of negotiations between your lawyers and the IRS over who knows what subjects, you can see why he wouldn't necessarily want them out there in the middle of that process. But as far as the law, there's no reason why he's prevented from releasing them because of an audit.
Okay, for fact's sake, there is no law that prevents the president from releasing his taxes if they are under audit. We don't know that they're under audit. This will be the last time we have this discussion.
There you go, America.
This is history.
Ali Velshi just made history. He just settled it right there.
Well, Richard Rubin made the history.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Ali. There you have it. There is nothing preventing the president or the IRS from releasing President Trump's taxes. So get your glasses on, get your pencils ready. We're going to get them.
Hey, MSNBC fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down there and click on any of the videos here to watch the latest interviews and highlights. You can get more MSNBC for free every day with our newsletters. Just visit msnbc.com/newsletters to sign up now.